Hey, everybody. Jeremy Steinkohler here with the Drummers Education Network, the Den. I'm here with my friends Bart Robley, Rick Stojak, and Chip Ritter. Hey, guys.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
We're
Hello,
happy to be
hello,
back.
hello.
We're happy to be back streaming live on Facebook to you. Today, our topic of discussion is how to build a teaching practice, sort of the business of building a teaching practice for yourself, a private teaching practice. Chip, I'm going to kick it over to you. I know you've been teaching for quite a long time. So
Yes, sir.
what are your insights about how to build in these days, in these times, how to build
Oh man, you know what? I'm a big fan of. You guys already know this, but I'm a big fan of specific goal setting. And one of the first things I've learned in goal setting and achievement, what success I have had with succeeding at my goals, is being very clear on the outcomes I'm trying to achieve. So one of the things I would recommend is somebody gets a piece of paper out and write down in your own handwriting, describe the perfect day teaching for you. Go to the end result in a dream, wave a magic wand and think, if I could have any teaching business I wanted, what would that look like? Even if it's a grand delusion, start there and try to clarify what it is you're trying to go for. I'd also recommend, aside from that, that you take advantage of being a member in our group. Go down our members list and go look at other people's profiles and watch their videos and watch what they post about their students. And if you're interested or you see content online with their name or Google their name, if you see content online that you like as far as what they're talking about their lessons or teaching, then if you feel interested in doing that, network. Use the network for what the network's for. Get in touch with them. You know, step up and have the courage to be like, hey, I've noticed you're a member of Den. My name is blah, blah, blah. I'm looking to build a drum teacher business. I'm looking to expand my drum teacher business. I'm looking to whatever your goal would be. I think take advantage of the network. And the other thing is, when building a drum business, don't forget to over deliver. Go above and beyond for every student as much as you can, because the best form of advertising for me has been direct word of mouth. And you don't get that without going above and beyond. So don't ever forget that you are a business. You are a CEO of your own shop. And so we've got to put many hats on to really build a business. And so it would not hurt to look into business itself. What is a CEO? What's a CFO? Who's in charge of money? You know what I mean? And think about things like that from outside of drumming. And that has helped me greatly to become a better businessman and create my teaching business.
That's great.
I hope that makes sense.
That's
Rick,
great stuff.
I'm sorry. I was going to pass it over to Rick and ask him, what do you think? Because Rick Stojak's studio over there is happening.
Well, Chip, you already said it all, man. There. Follow what Chip did right there, everybody.
Yeah.
Really well said. You know, I would say, like, in any skill, get a mentor. I'd highly recommend calling somebody in Den, or, you know, any one of us. We're all available too. And then, how did you do it? You know, and it's not obvious too. And I think it's something that you want to make sure that you like doing. I don't think it's going to work out that well for you as a drum teacher if you don't like teaching. If you're doing it extra to pay the bills, you know, just think it really through, whether it's something that you feel you're going to enjoy doing, and the outcome of that for your students. That's the big thing. And then you've got to decide how do you want to do it? You know, do you want to do in-person lessons, or do you want to do the whole online thing too? So the whole online lesson things is definitely valid, but I think there's pros and cons and different approaches to both. So you can, of course, shoot videos and then try to pump the videos and do it that way. But man, there's a lot of competition. But I just feel like in every city, a lot of people really want private one-on-one lessons. And I think a lot of people are forgetting that they think it's just all online and that's the only way to go. But, you know, I'm finding great success with one-on-one lessons. And then I think you have to make a commitment, where you to a facility, or at least in your house, something that's set up really, really great. And ideal to make people comfortable. So make your environment just pure and clean and fun. My studio is a showroom for products that I sponsor. It's like a Sabian symbol vault tour here in my studio. So people sample the symbols in their lessons. I don't sell anything, of course. It's same with like Aquarian and the Vic Firth stuff. So how about you, Bart? And that's just like an overview. This topic, we could talk for hours.
Rick, could you just give us a quick 360 tour with your camera so we can see how cool your setup is there?
Oh yeah, you guys got to see this. Pay attention
This
to
is
Rick's
very
camera.
cool.
All right, let's see if I could get out of the way. This is a new format, so I don't know if I can flip around.
There you go.
Look at all that cool stuff. I mean, what person
Look at that.
wouldn't walk into that studio and think this is the coolest place I want to be every week?
Yeah, what drummer's gonna not want to be there? I want to be there now.
I want to go.
Me too. That
Come
is
on,
cool.
Matter of fact,
everybody's invited.
That is one of the coolest looking studios I've seen, man. That is so
Yeah.
great. Kudos to you for putting
So
that together.
definitely, that's got to be top on the list. If you're watching this and you want to get better at teaching or start teaching and become a drum teacher, you definitely want to network with Rick Stojak, Bart Robley, Jeremy Steinkohler, or myself. Send us a message, ask us a question. We can help. Or if we can't help, we're pretty good at leading people to the next person that would. Bart, what do you think about building a drum teacher business?
well, I think what you just said, that's fantastic. I tell my drum students what you just said. Both of you guys said, I just in teaching alone, I lead you to the door. It's up to you to go through it. And I think helping teachers out goes the same way. If we can't help you, we can find somebody that can. The two things that I've always kind of prided myself on in my business is really two things. First of all, I would say to anybody that is trying to build a drum teacher business, number one, most importantly, you are your own best commodity. You are. So make sure that you invest in yourself. Like our friend Rick over here, I mean, that is a shining diamond of an example of investing in yourself. You look at Rick's studio and he's got Sabian symbols everywhere. Rick and I are both Sabian endorsers. We'll plug for Sabian. But the side note is, doesn't matter what, I mean, he's standing behind his company wholeheartedly. He allows his students to play that. That is an investment that he made in himself and his studio. That is fantastic. He is his own best commodity and he realizes that. Nice. And I also think equally that goes hand in hand with that is a work ethic. Okay. You have to have a work ethic no matter what you do. I don't care if you're a drum teacher or you work for a construction company and you are, a window installer. Have a work ethic. Be on time. If you're not on time and there's a reason for it,
be on time.
Yeah, make sure people know that. People, you're going to make mistakes and stuff, but be on time. Make sure that you are ready to teach and do your job. Teaching is a very serious business. And like Rick said, if you don't want to teach, you're just doing it to make a couple of extra bucks. I've said in past videos, that's how I started when I was a kid. I want to make a few extra bucks, but I realized that I love teaching, that people were benefiting from my lessons. And I loved that. So make sure that you like teaching. Invest in yourself, be your own best commodity, because you already are, and have a good work ethic. And like Rick said, I fully agree. I sell videos on my website. I make a new video a week and I put it up for sale. I do online videos, and luckily I've been teaching online for years, as I'm sure all of us have through this COVID thing. I just kind of had scheduling shifts that I had to make and had a few people drop off, but I've also gained a few new people. I do think that in-person lessons one-on-one are the best. And then also, and I don't know about you guys, but I still, even before COVID, I still made house calls. Somebody wants me to come over to their house and I can work it into my schedule and give them a lesson. I charge a little extra for it, but I still make house calls. Again, just that work ethic. Hey, you want me to come over? You're comfortable there? Not a problem. And I could go on and on and on for days about what I do in my business, but that's just like the three biggies. Those are the, and really the two biggest ones that I just can't stress enough. You're your own best commodity, and have a strong work ethic. Have a strong work ethic, and everything that Chip and Rick threw into there, I would take all of that information and say, yes, exactly. I mean, you guys already said it, but I just want to expand upon yours. Jeremy, what about you? Look, back over to you.
You guys, I just love it. I love everything each of you has had to say. Everything rings 100% true for me. And I've had similar experiences in my teaching practice. I started teaching when I was in college. I was doing it as a little side gig to make some extra money. Didn't really know what I was doing. Taught in a freezing cold garage, had a little space heater. It's like sort of the worst sort of case scenario for starting out, right? But what I did have going for me was that I loved it. I loved what I was doing. And I think my students got that. They felt that I was really invested in their progress. And that hasn't changed. It's only grown deeper for me as I've continued to teach. But, all the things you guys said are right on. Be on time, be professional, have your studio together, have it look professional, be a good communicator, don't flake. I mean, as simple as that sounds, I've had so many students come to me from other teachers who said, oh yeah, I can't, so showed up for several lessons and my teachers didn't show up or forgot. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding?
Don't be too much of an artist that you don't show up.
Another guy told me that his teacher would go and make himself lunch in the middle of the lesson in the kitchen. I'm like, really? Wow. I just couldn't believe it that these guys weren't super focused. Anyway, what I have to say, because you guys have already said so much great stuff, is that for me, the most important aspect of building a teaching practice is establishing and maintaining good relationships. It's all about relationships to me.
Yep.
Relationships.
So for me, the start with it has to do with your relationship with your students, right? That's sort of first and foremost and obvious. You got to show up for them. You got to let them know that you're invested in them. That's what they're paying you for, is to care about what they're doing and to be right dialed in with them, with what they need, how they need to hear it, and what they need to work on to get better to achieve their goals. Just like Rick said, the goals are so important. But it extends beyond just your relationships with your students. It's relationships with everybody that you come into contact with that has anything to do with your teaching practice, or with your music even, right? So it could be your bandmates, and then you let them know that you're teaching and they know that you're a good person and you're dedicated to your students. And so when they hear about someone who's looking for drum lessons, they're going to send them to you. Or it could be the guy at the local drum shop, and you go in there and you buy your sticks all the time and your drum heads, and you let them know that you're teaching. And maybe they've already got a roster of teachers. That's okay. You just let them know you're around. Say, hey, I'd love to be a part of what you guys are doing, or let you know that I'm also providing lessons in case you have some overflow or you need someone who works on this specific topic. There were a couple of years when Bandworks was growing so rapidly. Bandworks is the school of rock and roll program that I started, that we spent maybe $30,000 on equipment at Guitar Center in about 2 years. And wow. I became really good friends with the drum guy there. And he referred me so many private students just because I established this relationship with him. And you don't have, not that you have to spend money to do it. He and I had a good connection,
Yeah. Proximity, being able to be near people that are near people who want drum lessons is always a great tip. That's great, man.
So right. if you want to, one thing I'd recommend if you're first starting out, aside from all the obvious things like posting on Craigslist and whatnot, and being professional and showing up and all those great things we talked about that are so important, is, build relationships, right? Go find out who the local band directors are in the schools, the middle schools and high schools in your area. Talk to them, let them know you're teaching lessons and that you're available for private students, and that you focus on reading or orchestral playing or jazz big band playing, whatever it is that they need their students to learn. Go to the local music shops, tell them that you're available for teaching lessons locally. Tell all your friends, tell everybody put it on Facebook. Hey, I'm teaching drum lessons now. And then, that, and just be dedicated to your craft. Like you guys already said, always be learning. Always remember that there's guys and gals who've been out there doing it longer than you have, who have things to offer you that you can learn and be better at what you're doing. And I think if you're committed to your students and you're committed to yourself as to always improving your skills as an educator, you're going to have a successful practice. It may take some time to build, but you will be successful.
I like
I
that.
agree. That's fundamentally where it is at the heart of the whole how to build a teaching business is that you really want to in the first place. So
Right.
yeah, I'm running out of time, guys. I'm gonna have to get going. Does anybody have any final thoughts?
I want to throw one little thought out there because we talked about like checking out other people, right? Do follow somebody else's success. One of the things that Jeremy, you just touched on, don't want to put a negative spin on it, but you're like, we've all had drum students that come to us and like, yeah, I took lessons from this guy over here for, so many years, and he did this that was wrong. Well, learn from those things too. If you hear stories of somebody doing the same thing over and over again that nobody likes, don't do those things. Learn from somebody else's mistakes as well. That's another
Yes.
Good one.
think about. Yeah.
I'd like to add just have a curriculum. Sometimes students come in, and if they don't feel like you've got a plan for them, it's just sort of they're just drifting. And so
Right.
have a curriculum so that you can meet your students wherever they need to be met to help them achieve their goals. If someone comes to you for Latin stuff, you got to have a program for the Latin stuff. If someone wants to learn big band charts, you got to help them figure out how to read those charts. And if you don't know how to do it, go learn for number one, or send them to somebody else who does. Boy, that
Yep.
teacher will be really appreciative that you refer them. Yeah,
The
that teacher
golden
Well
rule.
said. Yes. Don't
They'll
be
be
afraid
really
to
Don't
appreciative
refer
forget
other
the golden
teachers.
rule. You want to treat the other drummers like you want to be treated.
That's right.
Yes.
Remember, you're not in competition. You may feel like it on some level because but in most of these urban areas, there's lots of more people who want to take drums than there are teachers most of the time.
Yes.
You just got to connect with them. So
Right
start
here,
with-
this. Oh, sorry.
you
Go
start
ahead.
referring people to other teachers, they're going to start referring them to you.
That's right.
This is a shining example of not being in competition with one another. I mean, the four of us have been building this. We're friends. I mean, this is not
Well,
a
wait a
competition.
minute
We're working
now. Hold
together.
on.
Yeah, hold on. Wait
I don't want to go that far.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I got an objection, Your Honor. And it's pronounced Peisty, not Peisty.
Oh,
Ah,
So there is a little friendly competition.
there is.
And I'm trying to get Jeremy to come over to the ship, but so far you guys have been luring him with showing him Rick's studio.
I'm leaning over toward the Sabian side.
See it? I'm watching
What?
it happen.
But
Your
I
lack
can't-
of faith is disturbing.
It's disturbing. He
I find your
says.
lack of faith disturbing.
Oh,
That's awesome.
your lack of faith is disturbing.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that Chip's a Star Wars fan. I'm shooting in the dark here. I know, but I'm.
Absolutely. So you know what? Don't forget, use
There
the
you go.
force. Do not try. Do.
Do or do not. There is no try.
I think this has been a great topic, you guys. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Bart.
You bet, Chip.
Don't forget to watch the other episodes we have on our YouTube channel. Don't be afraid to subscribe, and don't be afraid to reach out to other members in our Drummers Education Network.
All right,
Absolutely.
thanks, guys. We will see you back here next week. And our topic of discussion, somebody remind me, is publishing. We're going to talk about
Publishing.
publishing drum books. Because all of
Yes.
us, four of us, are published authors. With some of us have gone different routes, different publishing houses, self-publishing. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Yeah, Rick's showing his How to Build a Drum Groove book series, which is a fantastic series of books. If you can check that out already, I've got. This
I
book
talked
called
about
Finding
that
the Groove,
yesterday.
Finding the groove.
There you go.
collection
There
of
you
essays
go.
about drumming and
Oh,
teaching.
by the way, Jeremy, Finding the
Yeah.
Groove has about, yes, there it is.
Rocket
Rock and pop and snare drum. Jeremy's book, Finding the Groove. If you guys haven't read that, go get that book because it gets deeply into teaching itself about lessons and relationships between other drummers and students. So there's a lot in there that you can learn to help you build your teaching business as well.
Thanks,
I'm
Chip.
reading it on my pad right now on my
Nice.
tablet. Fantastic read. Fantastic
Thanks,
read.
thanks, you guys. That
Amazing
means the world coming from you guys. I respect you guys so much.
How we
Thank you.
teach book.
Awesome.
Great
All right,
book.
guys. Thanks, everybody. This is a great quick one. We'll be looking forward to seeing you next week, and tune in then.
See you
Thanks,
next week,
everybody.
everybody. Bye.
There.
Vote.